Okay, hello. My name is Paul Cran, and I'm going to give a presentation on the marketing strategies of GoPro. A little overview of what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to start with a little background of the GoPro company, talk about the highlights, lowlights, and wrap it up with what I think is going to happen with the future of GoPro. GoPro has profited roughly $60 million and has a revenue of almost $1 billion. The company is owned and was started by Nick Woodman in 2002. And prior to the start, Nick had a lot of ideas about inventing a wearable camera like he invented. But in Australia in 2002, he was surfing with a bunch of his buddies, and they were getting some incredible footage with a regular camera, not a video camera, and this camera was on shore. And because it wasn't waterproof, they probably didn't have a waterproof camera then that they could easily use. And Nick just didn't think that this camera from shore was doing them any justice on their waves. It wasn't capturing what they were experiencing. So it was this trip that really motivated him to pursue starting his company with the GoPro. So after Australia, he went to Indonesia to do some more surfing, and at this point he knew he wanted to launch the GoPro when he got back to the United States. So he was, brainstorming and thinking of ideas of how he's going to raise money to launch this company. And one day, one of his lady friends that was there, her name is Jill, she walked in to the house that they were staying at in Indonesia, and she was wearing this bead and shell belt that Nick thought was incredibly cool, and he saw a lot of potential in it. So what he did was he went back to the manufacturer of that belt and ordered 600 more, much as he could afford at the time where he was. And in 2 months, he sold all 600 belts and made quite a bit of money. So that money and the money that his parents gave to him, he was able to start his company when he got back to the U.S. Now, talk about the highlights of the company. GoPro is obviously the first of its kind. The only thing that would compare to it before would be like camcorder, which are still around, but camcorders weren't wearable, waterproof, or durable like the GoPro is, with its casing and just the strength that it can withstand. GoPro has 4 generations of cameras ranging from $130 to $500, I think, actually. $400 or $500, which is a pretty good amount of money for the camera. Another highlight is the use of social media that GoPro is taking advantage of. Between Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, GoPro has over 30 million followers, which is great. And just this past year, GoPro's YouTube channel received top 5 nomination for the most viewed YouTube channel out of all of YouTube, which is crazy. So they're getting their name out there pretty well. And just actually at the beginning of 2015, GoPro signed contracts with the NHL and the Winter X Games, which is going to be great for them because they're going to get their name out to all the viewers all over the country, the world, that are watching NHL events all from all different places. And then the Winter X Games, that brings a lot of people to television, and that's the kind of place that these two companies are going to be advertising GoPro, so that's really good for them. And if they can keep doing that, that's even better. Another highlight would be the drones. Drones are a newly emerging market. They've been around in the military for a little bit, getting footage for undercover operations and stuff like that. But recently, they just hit the public market, and they're being used to take aerial photos of buildings, of landscapes, other cool things, getting up close to things that are high in the sky, and apparently a lot of them are being cameraed with GoPros. And Nick Woodman believes that if they can keep being partners with the drone manufacturers, they can make quite a bit of money with that, because drones are also newly emerging and looking to advance their company in better ways. So GoPro has developed a pretty good name, good reputation. I know I have a GoPro and I'm happy with it. No complaints so far. It's held up. It's gone through some pretty big beatings, been in water, been dropped, all different stuff, and it's held up quite well. They're in GoPros in 30 different countries right now, and they just opened their first store, but GoPro is just putting their product, which is just a camera, in adventure stores, if you will, around the world. So, covers the highlights. Now on to the lowlights. They only sell the cameras. They don't really sell much else. There's not a lot of accessories. So just the standard camera, maybe a couple holders. I don't think they even sell tripods or anything. It's just strictly cameras, parts, stuff like that. And another low light would be the lens and zoom restrictions. Now with the GoPro, it's a fisheye fixed view, so you can't adjust it if you wanted to just take a regular picture or video, flat, wide view, if you will. It's strictly fisheye, which some users don't really like. And also, you can't zoom. You can't zoom in and out to get closer to something if you wanted to. And if GoPro changed these options and allowed you to change the lens and allowed you to zoom in and zoom out, that your target market would increase greatly, and more people would be interested in the product, more people would want to buy it, because it would suit more people's desires of how they want to use the camera, because a lot of the cameras right now are just the regular flat view, zoom in, zoom out cameras, and there's plenty of companies out there who are very successful, like Sony. Who else you got? Polaroid. What else? A bunch of big name companies like that are very successful with just the standard camera. So if they change their lens and zoom, they could tap into those markets and I think benefit greatly. Also, the prices are a little high, a little pricey. I bought mine for $200, and I bought the third generation one. The third generation. There are I have the second generation. It was $200, and there's 4 generations. So once it gets up to that 4th generation of $400 or $500, it gets a little crazy for me or the average individual. But this taps into the competition, because GoPro has been out for a little over 14 years now, and or 15 years. No, scratch that. 12 years, 13 years, I don't know. Just over 12 years, and there other companies are catching on and starting to build prototypes and release new products that are similar to the GoPro. For example, you got Garmin, who just released their 4th generation camera that is extremely similar to the GoPro. Same kind of qualities. It's waterproof, small, compact, just like the GoPro. And that could be a pretty big issue for GoPro if GoPro can't outcompete these companies. So yeah, they need to definitely look out for that. And I could see them lowering their prices and maybe getting some more people to buy their product. But we've yet to see that, so who really knows what could happen there. Now the future of GoPro, I think they have the ability to change all their lowlights into highlights. And they should keep using the drones as a benefit to expanding their consumer base and tap into that market. That would be good. They should keep trying to get bigger companies like the NHL and the Winter X Games to advertise their company, because that's the best way to get your name out there and expand your customer base. If they can sustain giving competitors a run for their money, keep updating their product, keep being different, keep adding new things, I think that will benefit them a lot. And if they can even sell more than just cameras for GoPro, I think that will benefit them greatly. I'm not really sure what else they would sell, because they want to become a media company, a full-fledged media company, but just selling cameras, I don't see them making it to be a media company. I think they need to invest in some other equipment before they can jump into being a full-fledged media company. But overall, I think they can compete, and I think they will compete for a good amount of time here. And I mean, I'm still gonna keep using my GoPro, and I'm probably gonna update sooner or later. But that concludes my presentation on the GoPro, and I go into a lot more detail in my paper, as you'll see. But thank you for listening, and thanks for a good semester, and have a good summer, and I will see you around.